what's up, everybody? It's Blair with the Badass Records podcast, welcoming you in for another episode. This week, my guest is Suzannah Johannes. That's SUZANNAHJOHANNES. She is at Suzannah Johannes on Instagram, SuzannahJohannes.com. You can find her stuff on Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, Bandcamp, and as I mentioned, Instagram. And I am lucky enough to be holding in my hands a copy of her new album, Kansas City, Bronze Boulevard. It is out now, digitally and on vinyl. It's got 12 tracks, and you can find it on Suzannah's website or on her Bandcamp. And what's better than a single album release? A double album release. This one is called Los Angeles, the Missing Album. It will be available digitally and on vinyl on January 2nd. So just a few short months away. Also catch Suzannah here in Kansas City at The Ship, September 11th, all else the sea. The Ship, one of the West Bottom's greatest live music venues. Episodes of the podcast here air Thursdays when all is right with the world. Keep tabs on it on the socials, on Instagram. The website's badassrecordspodcast.com. And you can get the show there. You can get it where you download or stream your music and podcasts, or you can view it on YouTube if you want to. That's all I've got for you this week. Appreciate you stopping by. Hope you enjoy the show. So I think this will wind up being episode number 182 of Badass Records podcast. And Suzannah Johannes, welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
Am I pronouncing it
me.
right?
Yep, you got it right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, at some point when we were messaging, you signed an email as Suzie.
Oh yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, everyone knows me as Suzie, and then when I started performing, I went by Suzannah. I don't know exactly why, but it just sounded better.
It's got a very nice ring to it. The first and last combined. Yeah.
I know my friend, she thinks it sounds like, Gilda Radner's Roseanne Rosannadanna.
Roseanne Rosannadanna.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What was her sign-off line? I don't know.
I can't remember it either.
Something about bringing you. It was her and Garrett Morris.
Okay.
Was the black dude that was the news correspondent with her.
Oh, okay.
And
we'll have to cut it in.
Yeah.
To the episode.
He had a bit on there where he would do news for the hearing impaired, and he would just read off the card really loud.
Yeah.
Just, good night and have a pleasant tomorrow was how he would sign off. But
okay.
She was funny too. Well, thanks again for taking the time to come in and hang. We have got Suzannah Johannes on Instagram, SUZANNAHJOHANNES.
That's right.
And then SuzannahJohannes.com, plus Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, Bandcamp, and a lot on your plate right now with 2 album releases.
Yeah.
You've got Kansas City, the Hans Bronze Boulevard, slated for the 29th, which I think
weeks, yeah.
I think it will already be out when this comes out.
Okay.
But then also Los Angeles, the Missing Album, on January 2nd.
Yeah, I was going to release that one in October, but my friend Elle Eff Kay from iHeart Local Music, she told me to wait till January. So that album I recorded in 2013.
Yeah.
And I had a record deal at the time, or a record offer, I guess. And my friend helped me, connected me with my friend Josh Adams, who's like a studio drummer in LA, connected me with his friend Gus Seifert, who's a Kansas City guy too, and does recording in LA. And so it was one of those things where I didn't really know that to square everything up before we did it. And so we recorded the album in like 2 days, and Gus and Josh put a lot of work into it. We've also had Gabe Knoll and Tyler Cash. But then when the deal fell through, I didn't have the money to pay for the recording and everything, and so it just has kind of sat. And with the Kansas City album, Josh came back to play on that album, and he said, you should give Gus a call and just see about that other album. And so much time has passed that Gus was like, why don't you just put it out? Like, if you make $1 million, let's talk. But I'm, pretty sure that's not going to happen. But I mean, he didn't say that.
Sure.
I said that.
Yeah.
But so that the Kansas City album kind of paved the way for me to go back and record the one that I never released.
Cool.
Or release the one I never released.
So you sent me links to check them out, which I appreciate. But first glance, I'm like, I don't understand. She's releasing an album only in Kansas City and only in LA. Just
Yeah.
dumb brain initial.
No,
and then
yeah.
I was like, oh no, I get it now.
Yeah.
Her suggestion to push till the first of the year. I've heard somebody say before that like spring and summer are the spots to do it, because when you get into fall, folks in the business are already like checked out and like moving in the direction of A, it's the holidays, B, we got to put together our best of the year. Is that what the thinking was?
Yeah, she said that so much is happening that it just gets lost.
Right.
And also, like, if you release it in January of 2026, it's like a current album all year.
Oh yeah.
Whereas,
Smart.
yeah, if you release it like in December of 2025, it's like it looks like it's old because it says 2025. I guess that's like car mentality.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. So Hans Bronze Boulevard, recorded in the fall of 24 at Weights and Measures with a ton of other musicians. I'm interested in how all those connections came to be initially, and then how you came together to put this thing out.
Yeah, so I think one of the albums I sent was Brooke Tooley and the Moon Travelers.
Yeah.
So Brooke and I became friends kind of over the pandemic, and then she released her album, Brooke Tooley and the Moon Travelers, Chase Me, and her
Super cute album cover art.
Yeah.
Love that shot. It very. I came across, I think on your website, Rilo Kiley influence. It's very Jenny Lewis look, especially with her last one being Puppy, having Puppy on a Truck on it. Joy All, I think.
Okay, yeah. Like I don't know. Like I remember when it was all happening. I mean, they recorded it in their basement at their house, and it sounds so good.
It does.
And yeah, the artwork, their friend. I mean, it was definitely like a collaboration with all their friends, and so we had kind of become seeing each other more. Their oldest is my son's age, and so I kind of reached. I was kind of doing this thing where I was setting a goal every month of doing something musical, and like one month I just went to Goner Fest. I mean, that was like the thing.
What is it? What fest?
Goner Fest. It's in Memphis.
Okay.
It's like Goner Records there.
Okay.
But for August, because my birthday is next Monday.
Oh, right on.
I was like, I would love, like, if in the realm of possibility, if I could wish for anything that is possible, it would be to record. So I'd ask Brooke and Mike if I could record with them, thinking it'd just be like me in their basement, that sort of thing. But they have this group of friends who are excellent musicians. And then I can't remember exactly how it happened, but we were going to use like her backing band for my band. And then, but their drummer couldn't do it. And so in the meantime, I messaged Josh Adams and said, hey, would you come back to record an album? And he's like, he was touring with Cat Power at the time, doing like this international Bob Dylan tour. And he was like, yeah, I'd love to come back. His family lives here and stuff. So then it kind of became like a bigger thing because Mike was like, well, we should get a studio so we can just do it all at the same time with everybody. And so that's kind of when it became, we got Weights and Measures booked. And so the live band was Josh Adams on drums, David Wetzel on keyboard, and then John Nichols on bass, and Jimmy Fitzner on guitar.
Okay.
And Jimmy and John are from Grizzly Hand, and they've played they played in Brooks' band. And it was really cool because we didn't really practice. Josh had flown in just, for that. And so a lot of what you hear on the album, I mean, there's some post-production stuff we added, but a lot of it is like a second or a third or a fourth take of a song we've never did together.
Wow.
And we've never done since.
And is this, I saw in your description of the record, recorded live to tape, right?
Yeah.
Meaning this go and don't mess up, right?
Yeah. And everyone who played on it, like, it's like I guess just evidence of their skill that we were able to track, I think, 9 songs in like a day and a half. And there were very little, like in the last hour or two, we went back and did, fixed things, but there was very little to fix.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's
it was
got to be a cool feeling. I mean,
yeah, for sure. And it felt real magical. And it also helped that, Mike Tooley and then Dwayne Trower, was the main sound engineer at Weights and Measures. Like, they're so adept at doing that to, for me, if I tried to, it would take me so long. It would take someone without a lot of experience a longer time to do what everyone did in such a short amount of time.
Where's Weights and Measures?
It's in Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay.
I think off of Truman or
Okay.
something like that. I'm not really too familiar with Kansas City, but
Well, if you wind up in communication with them and any of those folks want to come do one of these.
Oh,
Same with iHeart Local Music Gal. I emailed her a couple times, but
oh yeah.
but anyway, or anybody else
Sure,
that you
yeah.
come across that would be interested. That's the engine that keeps the thing going, is
Yeah.
getting people
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you touched on it briefly already, but the Los Angeles The Missing album goes back a hot minute.
Yeah.
To recording, and then not really knowing where the stuff was, and I think you said not having funds, and all of a sudden here it is, resuscitated and almost ready for the public. I mean, it's got to be super fun for you to like think that this thing that was maybe gone is now going to see the light of day.
Yeah, like I feel like another thing, just going back to why I want to record, like I've been playing music for like 20 years. I started playing after I graduated college in like 2006.
Okay.
So it's almost 2026. So almost 20 years, but I have like relatively few recordings to show for it. And so, yeah, it feels good to be able to like get both of them out there and yeah, just keep moving and get going again, I guess. Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Love the website. It's super. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm skipping ahead.
yeah.
We've got release shows. 9/11 at the Ship. All else the sea. Which is there,
Yeah.
But cute website. Really, really sharp and crisp. As I mentioned, lots of exciting stuff happening for you in the next 6 weeks and handful of months. I mean, will you continue to book gigs or?
Yeah, like I primarily play solo shows. I have kind of I'm always conflicted about playing live. I sign up for shows because it makes me practice and it makes me like learn new songs. I usually do a lot of covers and things like that.
Cool.
I always have like I have a hard time for some reason with the performance part of it. So the other thing is that the band that performed on this record was kind of just a snapshot in time.
Right.
And so I'll have to figure out, like, in Lawrence, like, if I get a band together, like, what that
Yeah.
will look like. I had a band, the country band that I've been working with, like we played like country songs and stuff. So, yeah, I just need to get all that figured out
Sure.
before January for the
So,
other.
in thinking about booking solo gigs, is there anxiety at play? Is it what's the hesitation?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's kind of like I'm like self-taught, so
Okay.
I just after I graduated college, I just started watching YouTube videos and teaching myself guitar, and then I definitely like stopped playing altogether when I had my son,
Right.
and that it's kind of like I'm just recently like tomorrow I have my second guitar lesson. I like been signing up for guitar lessons and like actually trying to get better at that
That's
because
super
yeah.
cool.
Well, I'm like I've been playing for 20 years and I don't feel great about my ability on guitar, and so I'm like, well, in another 20 years, I'm gonna wish that I had taken lessons or did whatever. So
That's I
yeah,
could imagine a lot of folks that have performed live and have put stuff out and are currently putting stuff out would say, I don't need that. But uh, the drive for betterment is always admirable from my perspective. So that's really cool.
yeah, thanks.
So where you finished, you start playing right after college. Where'd you go to school?
Oh, I went to KU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. And so are you born and raised in Lawrence?
No, I grew up on a farm in northeast Kansas. The closest town is called Powhatan, and I went to high school or school in Hiawatha,
Okay. Okay.
up
Cool.
by the Nebraska border.
Right on.
Yeah.
So you have siblings?
Yep, I've got three
Oh yeah, your
siblings. Yeah.
sisters. Yeah.
Yeah, I got my older brother Jake lives outside of Lawrence. He's the one. He's at the Brookside Farmers Market in Kansas City.
Okay.
He does organic farming, and then my sister is in LA, and then my oldest brother he's in Colorado,
Okay. Where in Colorado?
in Denver.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Any idea how your folks connected initially?
Yeah, my mom was an army brat, and then her dad got stationed in
Oh
Topeka.
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
so neither one of them like graduated college, but they met at Washburn.
Okay. Cool.
My dad was in bands. He played bass.
Oh really?
Yeah, and so but they both have a love of music, and so yeah, they kind of gave all of us that just the love of it. But he didn't really play like when I was growing up or anything like that. So yeah, he went back to farming when him and my mom got married. So
Okay.
yeah, I grew up just on a farm, that same farm my dad grew up on, and
Wow.
yeah.
Did they put on music to listen to in the home when you guys were young?
Yeah, like it's interesting how my memories of it, like my mom always was listening to really good music in the car.
Okay.
So she would like she has like my favorite memories were like driving around, she would listen to like the Temptations and the Ink Spots, but then she loves The Cure. She's like the
Okay.
biggest Cure fan.
Wow.
Yeah, Neil Young, Buffalo Springfield, like Beatles, everything. She has a really wide like appreciation of music. And then she had a gift shop. In her gift shop she'd always be blasting classical music from the station in Kansas City.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then they had a really amazing record collection that when I got in high school, it was like going through all the records. The record that I can't believe I probably should have put on here, but I can't believe they had like John Cale's Vintage Violence, which
Okay.
was like his first solo record
Okay.
after the Velvet Underground.
Oh yeah, there we go. I was about
Yeah.
to say John Cale.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that one, I mean, there was just like I had one of those like, the record with a speaker in my
Yeah.
bedroom.
Oh,
and
nice.
I would just listen to
An
all their records.
OG gramophone.
Sort of, yeah. I think it was probably from like a school or
Okay.
something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So mom has a very varied. What about dad? What was he into? Anything that you can recall?
Yeah, he he loves music. Like right now, he's like a technology adopter, so he's got Spotify on his phone,
Okay.
and he's got a little Bluetooth speaker, and he like listens to, I mean, Creedence Clearwater Revival, like all that stuff from when he was growing up. There's definitely a lot of Led Zeppelin, um, Moody Blues, that sort of thing. But there was always like, I remember when I first started playing guitar, I held a concert for them in our living room, and I'm glad there's no recording of it because I'm sure I was awful. But my dad went upstairs and got his stand-up bass. He brought it down, and
Cool.
we tried to do some songs together, but both of us were both like, I was learning and he was like relearning.
Sure.
So I did actually message him recently and said, when the harvest season is over, what if you and my brother come to my house and we work on some music stuff together, some covers or
That would
whatever.
be fun.
Yeah, I
So
think
he's still out there just getting after it in the farm world?
Yeah, I think
Wow.
he will. He's gonna be 75 this year. I just
He
kind
gets
of.
around fine and
Oh
can.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think he'll be one of a lot of those guys. They just don't do it. I mean, they do it until they die.
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
yeah.
What about live music? Any early or first concert standouts?
Yeah, I think that I feel like that live music in small town where I grew up was very hard to come
Of
by.
course.
And I didn't go. My church had like 8 people in it. Like it was a very small. It's still
Wow.
there. It's just so it wasn't like I didn't have that experience of like choir, and I didn't do it in high school. But my mom took me around to some concerts. She took me to Rock Fest with
Okay.
my brother, and trying to think what else. Yeah, I would. My brother Jake would take me to concerts.
Fun.
He in high school he joined a ska band in Topeka called
Cool.
Brothers from Different Mothers, so I'd tag along with him to their
Nice.
stuff. Yeah,
Scott's so fun.
yeah.
So we've got the stuff that is already in your house as a young person because it's what mom and dad are interested in or love or own. And then we've got the list that you shared with me. Is there, not necessarily from your list, an album that stands out where it's sort of your first step down the path of carving out your own taste? Like not something from mom or dad and not something from your list, but something that really wiggled your antenna initially, or maybe something you first purchased with your own money?
Yeah, that's a good question. Trying to think. When I moved to Lawrence, as soon as I graduated high school, I left, and my brother let me like live in. He had a place with his girlfriend at the time, so I moved to Lawrence, and I lived in like their spare room that summer till I started, and I dated this guy, and he exposed me to a lot of music. And I remember I didn't put a Cat Power record on there, but he I think it was Moonpix.
Okay.
I think he gave it to me, but it was really like it kind of changed the way that I thought that it was like so highly like emotive but also stripped down,
Oh,
and the
wow.
way that she
Okay.
sings.
I'm not familiar with
Yeah.
Cat Power.
Yeah, she's really amazing.
Okay.
She has both her own songs, and it goes back, quite a ways. But and then she has these cover albums.
Okay.
And she was one of the first people that I recognized doing covers in a very unique, distinct way that made them their own original
Oh,
song.
yeah. Nice.
Yeah, so that definitely made an imprint on me, and I think that back when I listened to like older recordings and stuff, I definitely think I was kind of like emulating her, emulating Nico, how she would sing, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay. So you give this concert at home for your folks.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere along the way, I saw that a friend, maybe it was Josh or one of these guys that taught you guitar.
Oh yeah, Hans.
Han.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So before you give this concert at home, where does your arc as a musician start, and then bring us up to modern day with where you're feeling about your chops and taking lessons and all that. Any memorable stops along that way?
Yeah. So One thing that when I went to college, I got to study abroad in Sweden,
Oh, cool.
and yeah, my plan was that when I graduated, I was gonna try to go get a master's degree in Sweden, and at the time, it was tuition free, and it was taught in English, and I actually got accepted to the school I wanted to go to in Stockholm, but didn't have the money to. You had to have $20,000 in a bank account to get the living visa, and you
Okay.
couldn't get like a student loan for that. It was like you had to have this money, and I didn't have the
It's a
money.
peculiar requirement.
Yeah, I think I don't know what it's like nowadays, but I think there's something similar. Maybe I remember talking to a student, an exchange or an international student going to KU, and he had the same thing coming from where he was at, and it wasn't Nigeria, but it was in Africa, and his whole community, all the whole family and the larger community all pitched in to put this money in this account,
Wow.
but just so that it was there for the screenshot. So,
Yeah.
and then I think
And
they
then
got,
everybody gets their bit
yeah,
back.
I think
Okay.
so. And like if there had been, whatever. But anyway, so I thought that I was going to save money and try to do it again the next year. And I thought that when I went there, every place I went to had live music. Some guy on guitar at a pizza shop, playing covers and stuff. So I thought, well, I could do that, for extra money while I'm there because I don't speak Swedish. And so that was kind of in the back of my head. And my friend Hans, he is really prolific and he's written all these songs and he'd put them on CDs for me in college. For all of our friends. And so I don't know exactly how it came about, but he started showing me some chords and some songs. I think the first song he taught me was like Steely Dan's Only a Fool Would Say
Okay.
That. And then the first show I did, I shared some things with some other friends, and then Zach Hangauer and Tony Schneider, they were in the first band I was ever in was called Student Body, and we did one show, and it was a fundraiser because my friend was going to go volunteer in India,
Oh, wow.
and that was at the Tap Room, which is another great like local
Yeah.
music place in Lawrence. So, um, I remember after that I did a show at the Tap Room. I just played maybe like 4 or 5 songs, and again, horrible at guitar, especially back then. But I just remember everyone got really quiet. It was like super quiet, and it felt like kind of, I don't know, special. I mean, for me. And then after that show, David Wetzel was like, "Hey, why don't we work on some of those songs together?" And then that became David and Josh Adams and I. Josh and David went to high school together, and we
Okay.
all were in college together. And around that time, Hans would email me just poems, and then I would make them into songs with my limited vocabulary of chords. So that the songs on the EP, those are songs. The first one, Hans wrote that song. The other ones, he sent me the lyrics, and then I wrote the chords to
This
it.
is the self-titled EP from your band camp
Yeah.
from '07 or '08?
Oh
Somewhere.
wait,
'08,
yeah.
okay.
And then around that time, I did the KJHK's Farmers Ball with David and Josh, I think, and I won that. That gave me some studio time at Black Lodge, which David just recently clarified for me. I don't think we actually used the tracks from Black Lodge. I think he said that actually we re-recorded all of the maybe we kept the drums, I'm not sure, but so anyway, that became the self-titled EP, and then I had a little bit of momentum. I did go to CMJ in New York, and I played that thanks to Zach Hangauer because Range Life Records put out that EP, and that kind of gave me this like record offer. That was around 2013, and then you know later in 2013, that deal kind of fell through, and then I broke my arm. I broke my wrist, and then 2014, I got married, I got pregnant, I had a baby. I just started working. I was like the primary breadwinner for my family. So I just started doing that. And I'd say I didn't play for 5 or 6 years. And then I think Jeff Stoltz, who's He has several bands. Sweetbird 95 is the one that's going to open at the Ship Show.
Okay.
He was like, why don't you let me play drums for you? Like, why don't we get a band together? Like, and so he kind of helped me be like, okay, like, yeah, like, let's do this. And then it really was, kind of, yeah, meeting Mike and Brooke. I made some changes in my personal life and had more time and kind of like was revisiting what I wanted to do, like where I wanted to focus my energy. And so that got me, like, this now feels like I'm getting back to like what I stepped away from
Yeah.
for like 10
I
years.
mean, it's pretty remarkable how many sources of support
yeah.
and encouragement you
yeah,
have.
I'm
Like,
very lucky.
almost,
yeah.
it feels like everywhere you turn, there's somebody like, hey, let's do this thing or work.
Yeah. I'm
Very
very
cool.
lucky, yeah. And I guess sometime after that, I can't remember when that was. I sang on an album, La Sorda was called that. It was just a side project of Matt Pryor's from the Get Up Kids.
Okay.
He wrote all the songs, and Josh Adams played on them. My friend Dustin, he asked if I would come in and sing, which Matt Pryor, he has put out a lot of albums and he sings all of his songs. So it was really like a different kind of project. But that album was cool. I think that was probably 2011, I'm guessing. It's on Spotify. And it's funny because like one of the tracks has like 120,000 streams.
Wow.
Which is like, yeah, way more than anything that I have. So
Sure.
yeah.
Very cool. Any thoughts or opinions on the way some folks in the music industry / social media world are talking about and thinking about Spotify these days?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do about it. I think that like for me personally, it's, and again, I guess I could have chosen a different provider, but Spotify has exposed me to a lot of things.
Absolutely.
And I feel like if I take my music off, it's like maybe I miss out on
For sure.
something.
No,
So
it's a tough spot.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, somebody
There-
recently was like, what am I gonna performing shows? I'm trying to support these releases of mine. What am I gonna do? Tell people that they got to go to Bandcamp to find? I mean, I get it. It's a conundrum, but there's. I mean, it's today it's Spotify. Tomorrow it'll be something else. I mean, there's always a movement or a thought that's this shouldn't be this way. So
Yeah, so yeah, my personal thought was I just put it on all streaming and that people should choose whether or not they want to use Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, like whatever. It's like their choice.
same with
yeah.
this. I mean, it's on the places and it is on Spotify. And if that's your jam, then find it there. And if you don't want to support it, plenty of other places for you to find it. So. Well, thank you so much for sharing your list with me. I really appreciate it. It's also fun. Oftentimes I'll start correspondence with somebody and then whatever, we are all going a million different directions and there's a big pause and then somebody will be like, hey, sorry, it's taken me so long. And it's like, this is actually a super treat. Okay. Because you were here in the bandwidth of the mind and then you drifted and, I'm not going to like keep trying to pester folks. So when somebody like a bunch of time has passed and they reach back out and they still want to do it, it's super fun.
Okay,
so,
cool. Yeah.
I'm interested in firsts for the podcasts, like, in the early days, I was like, gosh, is every other guest going to have a Wilco record on their list? I really don't want to listen to album X again in preparation for this upcoming conversation. So you get into the hundreds and 150, and it's like new stuff still keeps coming your way. And it's like, wow, this is so cool. So, your list is almost exclusively firsts
Oh, okay,
for the
cool.
podcast.
Yeah.
Which, if you nerd out about something like that,
Yeah.
like I do, it's exciting. So if it's okay with you, I just will roll through them in release order.
Sure.
Okay. So if we do that, we started in 1965 with "The Shadow of Your Smile" by Astrid
Oh,
Gilberto.
yeah.
This is 2 of 15 for her, 11 tracks, 25 minutes. Brazilian samba and bossa nova, singer-songwriter. Patrick Spray of Center Cut Records was on for episode 77, and he had Gets Gilberto
Oh, okay.
on his list, which is how Astrid winds up on my radar at all. I mean, once I dug in for a half second, I recognize
Yeah.
Girl from Ipanema and all these kinds of things. But how does she land on your radar?
Yeah, and I gotta admit something.
Yeah.
The record that I had in my car was the greatest hits.
Oh,
But the songs that I listened to, I went back to, and I was like, well, you can't do the greatest hits. So this is the one.
people do.
Yeah.
It's not my first choice, but
Yeah.
I'll take it.
So Nonstop to Brazil, that was the track. That's one of my favorite songs all the time. And this was one of those, I think I got it at Hastings. And,
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
and I was in my car.
On
and,
CD?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the way that she sings is, again, like kind of the way that I wanted to sing.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know, I didn't sing in high school or college or anything. I didn't know if I could or whatever, but the way that she, that was made an impression on me. And I actually, like, I have this dream of doing like an Astrid Gilberto cover band. I reached out to some people in Lawrence, and they're game to do it. It's just like, when is the right time?
Okay. So you
yeah.
get this greatest hits CD from Hastings. Why?
I can't remember exactly why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something about it, when you see it there on the shelf in the store. Was it completely foreign? Was it somewhat familiar? Was it a cool album cover art?
Yeah, I don't know, because in my mind I think that I had it in high school.
Ah, okay.
But then when I looked up when it was released, I had to have gotten it in college.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't really remember like how or why I got it, but I had it and I listened to it just nonstop.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
A slight jump forward to 1975 with Coney Island Baby, Lou Reed.
Yeah.
6 of 21, 8 tracks, 35 minutes. Brazilian samba to guitar/underground out of NYC. Dan Jones of Dan Jones and the Squids had Walk on the Wild Side from episode 92 on his list, but that's sort of greatest hitsy, is a compilation of sorts, so no true Lou Reed studio records until right now. How did you get into Lou? Were you a Velvet Underground fan first?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, like, I think I mentioned, like, Nico and Velvet
Yes,
Underground.
yeah.
That was really, like, in college, that was really highly influential. And I think maybe I heard the John Cale thing.
Yes.
Throughout.
That's right.
But this one is actually more of a recent thing in the past year. And so going into the recording for Kansas City, I don't know if you'll hear it. I don't know if I even communicated this, but this was like, if I had like a feel for what I wanted it to sound like, it was the way that these songs sound, especially the first three, that was like, to me, just the definition of like what I thought would be amazing.
That's fast. I mean, they were, for what, 5 records the Velvet Underground put out, like sound, unique sound, and the post production, or I don't know, but that was like groundbreaking stuff from my limited perspective in terms of like what had been done up until then and really what's been done since, and it's pretty awesome that followed him into his solo career. This was a really fun listen, and there's something admirable about putting out an 8-track LP that has sort of a homogenous vibe across it, but each track is unique.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that I really like about Lou Reed or find interesting is how he like talks and sings.
Yes.
And so that's one thing I've been trying to figure out like how to incorporate more
Okay.
in the future. But yeah, I think it's just so cool, really.
Absolutely.
Just like
He
yeah.
is cool. They
Yeah.
were cool.
Yeah.
Whenever the Velvet Underground or Lou Reed solo stuff appeals to somebody, I'm fascinated by it because for the longest time, I think Velvet Underground and Nico was maybe the first one I got, and then I got self-titled and I, white heat, white light, whatever that one. Then there's one more. There's two more, but I would always be like, okay, this is the semester of college. This is when I'm gonna become a Velvet Underground, And I put it on, and it's like I don't dislike it, but I don't love it, and more than those two things combined, I don't know what to do with it. Like, what do I call this? Where does it fit in the pantheon? So I was like, okay, let's put it aside. And when you're older and wiser,
Yeah.
and eventually it just kind of came to be like, it just is what it is, man. Just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, I've been watching that Billy Joel documentary, and that's my friend and I were talking about it the other day, just like never quite knowing where to put Billy Joel.
Oh yeah.
And then like it's just what he is. And I never really like listened a ton to Billy Joel, but that documentary gave me like more appreciation for his like entire, working very hard his entire career. I think too, like with albums, it's funny because some albums, it's like you had to have that CD in your car. Like there's like, you had the CD in your car, you listen to all the songs, all the songs. But if you didn't have that at that point, you grew up, other things happen,
Yep.
your time is, you don't have those like long breadths of time, I think, that you have when you're younger.
Yeah.
To just geek out on.
Yeah. Have you made it through all the way through the documentary?
No,
No.
I haven't.
Where are
I'm
you?
still like I'm like halfway through second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I'm like to the Christy Brinkley chapter.
Fascinating piece. Um, my dad was really into Billy Joel. My stepdad was really into Billy Joel. And in fact, when my mom married my stepdad, he was immediately transferred to Atlanta. And so all of a sudden we've got like summers and Christmas to figure out because dad's here.
Oh, yeah.
So I definitely remember one or more of our drives from Casey to Atlanta and vice versa, this run of Pressure, Allentown, and Goodnight Saigon as just standing out, like very intense, I enjoyed it. And then when I'm in sixth grade, I dubbed a copy of Greatest Hits Volume 1 and 2. And I mean, I listened to it a week ago coming home from Colorado with the kids and watched the documentary with my sister, and just a super, super fascinating guy. I so many one-offs, but I mean, do you know Goodnight Saigon?
Mm-mm.
You don't?
No, I don't think so.
So it's, I mean, it comes out like does he talk about it?
I don't think I'm there yet.
I thought he talked about it before Christy.
Maybe.
But anyway, it's the refrain is, we would all go down together. So somebody, whenever it was happening in real time, said you should write a song about Vietnam. And he's like, I mean, I didn't go to Vietnam. And so these vets got together and like, we'll tell the story. You just make the song. So it's 7 minutes long, but the opening minute and the closing minute are like synthesizer choppers.
Oh, okay.
You know this tune?
Well, I just remember now. I think it did already come up in the documentary.
And then on
it's more experimental.
On the stage, he's got actual vets.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, the there's very little noticeable acoustic guitar across Billy's discography, but there's some in this. Obviously, there's piano, drums, and some really powerful backing vocals, and just the lines that he came up with. We had no home front. We had no soft soap. They sent us Playboy. They gave us Bob Hope. And another verse, we had no cameras to shoot the landscape. We passed the hash pipe and played our Doors tapes. I mean,
Yeah.
and then talking a little bit logistically about the conflict. I mean, it's
Yeah.
bonkers.
I'm looking forward to listening to it.
Innocent Man, my first purchases. I went on my bike to the mall and bought Led Zeppelin 4 and Billy Joel's Innocent Man were the first two tapes that I bought. That has Uptown Girl, Innocent Man, and then another track that I really like is called Keeping the Faith. But just fascinate, like the Led Zeppelin 4 cover art is like the old man in the field with the bag of hay.
Yeah, my dad and my brothers played that one a lot.
And then the Innocent Man cover, he's just like on a stoop in New York City with a leather jacket on.
Yeah.
Fascinating career. And I mean, he's done. He put out some classical collection of classical tunes that I don't think even performs on, but that was it. He's done. And it's like, I mean, you've been a busy dude for many years.
Yeah.
So I don't know how Lou took us to Billy, but
it's all related. It's all connected.
Let's see here. 2006, Color Green, Sybil Bayer. Yeah. So just one of one for her. This was actually recorded in the 70s, but put out in 06, 14 tracks, 32 minutes. German actress, singer, songwriter, lands in your lap. How?
Yeah, so my friends had this record. And
really?
It was like, it was like a thing. It was like a trend, an era. So the story that I had heard is that she recorded this when she was younger, and then her son found the recording, and the son got the recording to like Jay Mascis. I might be getting this wrong. Who got it to Drag City, and they put it out.
Wow.
So she was maybe a grandmother when this came out.
Okay.
And it was her songs from when she was younger. And I love every song on this album. I've listened to it, front to back many times. But the thing that I really took from it was that, like, it doesn't really matter what happens. Like, you can record an album and you can have it, and it can just be there for whoever wants it. And it doesn't matter if people like it or they don't like it, or I mean, it's great if people like it,
of course,
it's like, it doesn't have to be this, the trajectory doesn't have to be this, like, 90, what is it, not 45 degree, off into the ether,
right to the charts with a bullet.
It's just like, if you do it, if it's something that you like and it brings you joy, like, that's the only reason you need.
Very cool. That was a fun listen. And 2006 with the aforementioned Hans Bronze. Self-titled, 11 releases listed on rangeliferecords.com, including your self-titled EP from 2008. This one has 11 tracks and runs 24 minutes. Hans Bronze seems to be kind of ubiquitous in your musicianship world. Tell me about him and why this one earns a spot on your list.
Yeah, so I think Hans has been my friend for a long time, and I think he's kind of a genius.
Okay.
I mean, he's a genius to me.
Yeah.
He says he's not. I think he is. The lyrics that he writes and the songs that he writes are so, like, it's unpredictable and it's oftentimes humorous, but it's like, I like his voice, and I like all of his songs. I mean, he's just so incredibly talented. So I think that like I'm happy because the Kansas City album is primarily his songs.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm happy that I got to sing some of his songs. The EP was a collaboration on 3 of the 4 songs. The 4th song was totally his song. Um, and he's just been, a friend of mine and a mentor and an inspiration. I think the whole time I've been doing this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. And then last but not least, 2024. Chase Me, Brooke Tooley, and the Moon Travelers. They're first, I believe.
Yep.
7 tracks, 37 minutes. I saw you talk about this one a little bit in the Nick Spacek interview for The Pitch, and maybe it came up in your Bridge interview with Michelle Bacon, but give me the whole story behind your connection with Brooke and whatever details we have not already touched on with her in this record.
Yeah, I think Brooke and I became friends during the pandemic. She and I and another person, we would just play. It wasn't a ton of times, but we would play music in her basement. And then she sent me a track when she was working on this, but as she was releasing this album, I can't remember exactly like how we started hanging out more, but I was just really blown away by her songs and her singing and the way that they recorded it and the finished like production of it. The I remember one time she was playing like songs on an acoustic guitar for some friends, and she said, "I'm gonna play a cover, as part of the set or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
And every song she sang as she was singing it, I was like, "Oh, this must be the cover." But then at the end, she did like a cover of a Shania Twain song. And I was
funny.
like, oh. But her songs were so good that I was like, oh, this has to be a Velvet Underground, or this has to be a Kurt Vile song, or this has to be.
Ooh, Kurt
Yeah.
Vile.
Yeah, I definitely feel some of that, like that kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't say influence. It just reminds me of.
How did Kurt Vile land in your wheelhouse?
I'm not a big, I'm not like way knowledgeable about anything, especially Kurt Vile, but I think just, I don't have any of his albums, but just like everyone else, maybe. Like,
Okay.
just,
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw him maybe 3 years ago now at Liberty Hall.
Oh, okay.
In Lawrence.
I missed that, yeah.
And I've seen a lot of shows. Going back to high school, driving up to Lawrence. I've traveled for lots of shows over the years. That show was maybe one of the best I've ever seen.
Oh, wow.
He had this like female kind of heavy-ish trio open for him. And then I don't know if he played 12 tracks, 13 tracks, and almost a different guitar for every song.
Oh, okay.
But it was and it was what was crazy is that I hadn't been to Liberty Hall since high school, and our seats were in the balcony, which is tiny.
Yeah,
like
it is,
when
yeah.
they made those chairs in those rows,
they're like-
humans were not as big as they are today.
Yeah.
So like literally, I was in like this, and then everybody else a larger frame, their legs over the backs of the chairs in front of us. But it was just, I mean, I couldn't stop thinking about it for like 3 weeks. It was such a good show. And I know his discography somewhat well. I don't know it really well. And I don't love everything that I know, but the stuff that I do love, he just wrapped up a tour and didn't come through this part of the country this time. But anyway, I was really taken in by this one because each of the 4 records before this one on your list all have sort of a vibe or an energy that it's not like it just is what it is, and it kind of rides that. And this one is much fuller and really appealing. I can't really put a finger on it better than that, but I enjoyed this one a lot.
Yeah, it's a great album.
So this was the first and only for them. Do you think an outfit that will continue to write and record?
I hope so. I mean, she like everyone involved with this is like so extremely talented. I don't know if it'll look like this or if it'll
Right.
look like something else, but the like just even just her and Mike, you know, they're married and they went back to Ad Astra Per Aspera, and like they just have had this long.
I saw that. What
Yeah.
is, I know that.
That's another band that
Okay.
played in Lawrence Casey area, and so they're just they're fluent in everything musical and extremely creative and
Cool.
extremely like proficient at producing great sounding music.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Very nice. Well, it was a great list. And like I said, I mean, the closest we came to touching on anything else that's been on here is the Getz Gilberto album, and then the Lou Reed compilation. So these were all real fresh and new and fun for me to listen to. So I'm glad you shared them with me.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I like to wrap with a series of goofy questions.
Okay.
And then we'll get you out of here.
Yeah. Sure.
So the first is you're given the ability to have coffee with anyone of your choosing, dead or alive.
Oh, no.
Who's it going to be and why?
It's funny because my son asks me questions like this.
Oh,
and
yeah?
then I'm always like, who do you think? Like,
It's wild how well they know us, isn't it?
Yeah. Or no, I always ask him, like, who does he want to have coffee
Oh,
with?
okay, okay. You know, funny you say that. We in the spring, my son crossed over from Cub Scouts to Boy Scouts, and so there was a ceremony where that happens, and everybody gets together in the basement at church and has dinner, and then the ceremony. And the folks that were at the table my son and I sat at, the gal said, "This is my friend so and so. I've been wanting to introduce you to him for a long time, but the opportunity just hasn't happened." And you guys share a love for the same band or something like that. And right around that, my son was standing there, but he wasn't paying attention. And as she got near that part of he turned around and he goes, "What? Are you like a big Kurt Weill fan or something?" To this guy. And I was like, "That's so like." Who she was talking about was Fish, which is my big deal. But it was really funny that he's in his mind somewhere. Oh, that dude must be a Kurt Weill. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yes, coffee.
I'm gonna go. I don't know. Maybe this is just what Adele.
Really?
I just think I don't know a lot about her, but I just love. She's got like a great sense of humor. I think she would be like a really fun person to have a cup of coffee
She's got
with.
a heck of a set of pipes on her. That's for
like,
sure.
Let's not even forget that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Maybe if you treat her to a cup of coffee, she would throw you one of her $4,000 tickets to a Las Vegas show.
Oh yeah, that would. Well, yeah, seeing her live would be incredible. Yeah, she's got it all. But on top of that, I just feel like from what I've seen of her, like talking in interviews or just whatever, she just seems like a really amazing person.
Cool. I love it. So if we can pretend or imagine that we all have a personal and a professional bucket list, you're given all the necessary resources to go knock out your number one on each, the personal and the professional bucket list. What are those number ones?
Okay, professional. I would like to do a tour of some sort someday.
Okay.
I had a thought. I wanted to do a small town Kansas tour and do all those like WPA amphitheaters that they built like in the parks and stuff, because growing up here, you don't see a lot of live music. And my dad's got like 3 school buses because he's like a farmer and a mechanic, and
wow,
that's not really why. Who needs 3 school buses? But I had this like fantasy of rolling deep in Kansas and bringing a bunch of excellent musicians and just putting on a show wherever we went.
That's so rad.
Like, that's kind of a dream of mine.
Okay. We'll stick with the lessons so that you can keep building the confidence.
Yeah, I got to get the lessons. Yeah, exactly.
So that you are more comfortable performing live, and then you can make it happen.
Yeah. So, and then personal, probably something with my son. He wants to go to, just today we were talking about I'd like to do more trips with him. He was talking about wanting to go to Glacier Bay Park, which I was like, looks great. And then he was like, but it's in Alaska, and I didn't know that. So I would like to do more camping and more stuff like that with him.
Cool. I love it.
While he still wants to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Act quickly.
Yeah.
It's fading.
Yeah.
You know, I got my son maybe it's going to change now that school has started again, but we managed to knock out a movie night the last couple or three Friday nights as the summer wrapped up, which used to happen all the time with the three of us. It was like and we would take turns choosing the movie. I think as long as there's not a sleepover or a buddy hanging in the way, we might be able to keep doing that. But my daughter,
no.
See you later. I mean, yesterday was the first day of school and getting ready for bed Sunday night. She's like, Dad, the first Rockers game is Friday. And I'm thinking about having people over to get ready for it. And I was like, so just forget about all the Friday nights, like for the whole school. All right.
Yeah.
I'll be cool with that externally.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's coming, so.
You're given the opportunity to visit your past self at any age of your choosing. And this is not a thing that's cloaked in regret. We're not looking to change.
Don't go down that hole.
But you're given the opportunity to visit your past self any age of your choosing. What age are you choosing and what are you saying?
I think that probably when I started writing music.
Okay.
I think that would be it. And I think that, I don't know. I think I would just be encouraging to keep with it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. You're familiar with the television program that at one time existed called Fear Factor?
Yes.
So you, early ages of reality TV, lay in a coffin and they dump spiders on you and you win a prize or however it worked. This is not that. This is real life.
Okay.
You got to get from point A to point B.
Uh-huh.
Right in the middle is your biggest source of anxiety, heebie-jeebies, willies, creeps, actual fear. But you got to get past it to get to point B. What is it?
I think so. This last year has been kind of not like understanding where sources of fear are at and actively trying to not let that dictate what I do. I think probably this is a good one, but A to B. I think I'm on this pathway of completely not caring what anyone thinks of me.
Okay.
That's kind of my goal.
Okay.
I just complete freedom. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. So what's the obstacle for you to get over to successfully navigate that path?
Yeah, I think it's probably something that isn't a physical thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably just, I'm just, I don't know what it's not, it's maybe
confidence, belief in yourself.
Yeah, I guess there's a metaphorical mirror, I don't care,
Okay.
what that to look at that or to look at what I think someone sees me as.
Right. Okay, cool. Last but not least, complete this one for me, please. The world would immediately become a better place in which to live if only.
Okay, I think probably communities like Lawrence. Like you said, I have a lot of friends who support me, and I think that I've been real lucky.
Okay, so if communities continued to thrive or existed on a larger scale than we already know they do, or.
Yeah, I just think that, I don't know, because Lawrence has that small town kind of vibe,
Yep.
especially in the summer when everyone leaves. And the friends that I have now, I've had since I was 18. So I don't know what it is, but it's just kind of having, I don't know, when I go to LA, I don't see anyone I know who lives there because it's so hard to get anywhere else. And so having these smaller walkable places, I mean, it helps also if you have time
Right.
to spend. that's another thing. But like, yeah, I think for all the things that we were talking about Spotify, I don't even, I don't know what Apple does with their money. I don't know what anyone does with their money enough to say you should or shouldn't do certain things. So to me, the answer to everything is just to go a lot smaller and a lot more local where you are just,
Really dig in deep in the community
yeah.
lane. Okay. I love it. Great answers.
Oh, and probably also like better funded schools. Yeah.
Couldn't hurt.
Right.
Couldn't hurt.
Right.
So at Suzannah Johannes on Instagram, SuzannahJohannes.com, Bandcamp, Spotify, Apple, TikTok. You've got the 2 releases, Kansas City, Bronze Boulevard on August 29th, plus Los Angeles, The Missing album on January 2nd of 2026. You've got release gigs at the Ship on 9/11 here in KC. Is that right? Okay. Yeah. Other plugs.
Yeah, if you have a record player, do you have a record player?
I do.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll mail you a record. I forgot I have records. I should have brought you the records,
right on.
But I'll mail you
Fantastic.
2 records. But yeah, like if you buy the records on my website, you can get the other one before the release date. I'll just mail them together.
Did I see $7.99?
No.
What where?
Oh, that's the digital.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
there's no way.
Yeah, the vinyl is like $25 each. Yeah.
It's not 32.
Yeah.
I don't see.
Yeah.
Unless it's used, I don't see anything in a store or online for under $32 or $33.
Really?
So
yeah.
that's it's a steal.
Yeah, there
Okay.
you go. Yeah.
So but I interrupted your plug. The vinyl for both releases.
Yeah, if you have a record player, if you're at all interested, if you could help me, because I have a bunch of records in my living room that I would love to sell. And, hopefully my whole goal is just to be able to do it again.
Cool.
So
if you're with either Kansas City, Bronze Boulevard, or LA, The Missing album, if somebody buys a physical record on vinyl, you've got to take it to the post office and ship it. Okay.
And then you can choose, I'll sign it. You can choose and say, like, do you want yours signed?
Sure.
Okay, yeah. You can choose that I'll sign it, and then, I'll mail it to you through Media Mail, USPS. It's pretty cheap, and, that would be awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you had hoped that we would cover that we did not?
I don't think so. Yeah, on my website I have some solo shows coming up, and so people can see those there.
SuzannahJohannes.com. Did somebody build that site for you?
I did it.
You did it.
Yeah.
Great work.
Yeah, thanks.
I love it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, listen, again, I appreciate the time and the energy spent on getting here, and it was lovely to meet you, and hope to talk to you soon.
For sure. Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thanks.
Yep.